Next, I'm going to be busting out my How Not to Die cookbook, which I highly recommend. One thing that I love to make out of this cookbook are the no-bake brownies. They are absolutely delicious. They don't taste like brownies per se, but I like them, and my husband really likes it when I cut them into cubes and freeze them. The recipe is so simple. It involves, I think it's like 4 ingredients: walnuts, dates, almond butter, cocoa, and then you top it off with pecans. So I try to use the raw nuts for those things if I have them. Here it is in all its glory. Here are my raw walnuts, my raw pecans. I don't know if I have enough of the walnuts. I'm supposed to be using 1 cup. So let's see if I have enough. Looks like I have just barely enough walnuts, but you know, there's so much space in there. I think I might have to just supplement with a few raw pecans. So I'm gonna do that. The thing about this recipe though is that it calls for 1/2 of a cup of chopped raw pecans, and y'all, I'm a very impatient person when it comes to the kitchen. My husband loves cooking, loves like taking his time. I want it to be quick and easy. I can't help it. That's just the way I am. So I like to put the pecans in the food processor first before I put all the other ingredients in the food processor. That is a pro tip. If you buy this book and if you end up going to this recipe, do the pecans first in the food processor, even though they're listed last on the ingredient list. Pecans. Emptied that out, stuck these to the side. I put a few pecans on top just to make up for the lack of walnuts, and I'm sure it'll be fine. There we go. Now we have 1 1/3 cups of the medjool dates, which I have here. You don't have to be too stringent about these measurements. I just sort of make a rounded pile of dates with that, of course, I pitted myself. And so here they are. They look delicious. In they go. All right. Guess I kind of need both hands for this. But get them halfway evenly distributed there. You're supposed to grind these together until finely ground. It starts to form, once you get it really finely ground, it starts to form all together kind of into a big ball in your food processor. That's completely fine. And at this point, that's when I add the almond butter. I just have to scrape the sides periodically when I do that. 1/2 cup raw almond butter, that's what I use. Well, actually, it doesn't call for the raw almond butter, but I try to use raw when I can. Admittedly, this is not really fitting the low-fat department of the high-carb, low-fat way of eating that I'm trying to do. But it's not like I'm going to sit down and have this entire recipe. I'm not. I'm going to cut them in 16 pieces, and I might have 1 or tops 2 for the entire day at the absolute maximum. There's that almond butter. We're going to give it a whirl. Kind of had to break up that ball a little bit and push it down. Now I just add in the cocoa, 1/2 cup, and we're good to go. There it goes. Now I'm supposed to pulse it. Ooh, that is coming together nicely. I know this looks a little bit weird because you have basically a big ball over here and some loose stuff here, but that's okay. You just end up breaking it up and then you press it down together in a pan and it'll be fine. The dough from this stuff is super delicious. Here it is, all pressed down. And remember those pecans that we chopped up at the beginning and put aside? Well, now it's time to bring them to the top of this lovely. Once I get them to where I kind of want them to be, I just kind of press them into the brownies a little bit. There you have it. These are gonna go in the fridge, and by the time dinner happens tonight, this will be a lovely dessert.